Are you ready to go into the wild with the EAG? EAG. See them mangrove there, protect them. When you walk with your things, don't left them. Look out for the birds and the snakes, don't scare them. We're going on a wildlife journey to save them. Who you rolling with? EAG. No one does it like EAG. Who cares for the coral reefs and the beach and the seas and even the trees? Who you rolling with? EAG. No one does it like EAG. Who cares the most for the turtles and fishes and trees and also the coast?
Into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG. Into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG.
Funding for this initiative was provided by the Sandals Foundation, dedicated to preserving the environment and teaching future generations how to care for our precious Caribbean islands and their natural resources. Welcome back to Into the Wild with the EAG. In the last episode, you learned a lot about the animals who live on our offshore islands and how they interact with their environment. We brought you back on the mainland today to talk a little bit more about the interaction between living things and their environments, or ecosystems.
Today we're going to focus on mangrove wetland ecosystems here at the Fitches Creek wetland. A wetland is a place with lots of water available either all year long or during certain times of the year. When mangrove plants are found in flooded areas, they form mangrove wetland ecosystems.
Antigua and Barbuda has some of the largest mangrove wetland ecosystems in the entire Eastern Caribbean. But since the 1980s, these areas have been disappearing. Today, there is less than a seventh of the original mangrove wetlands on the island.
Before we get started on why mangroves are important, let's take a moment to find out what you know. Turn to your activity booklets and complete Activity 6 as a class.
Mangrove wetland ecosystems are very special because they carry out really important jobs called ecosystem services. An ecosystem service is a gift that nature gives to humans and animals for free when we keep it healthy. How cool is that? The first ecosystem service that mangroves do is provide a habitat or home for fish and other coastal organisms like snails and crabs to live and have their babies in. Mangroves even provide an important habitat for our birds. Without mangroves, all of these animals wouldn't have a place that provides them with food or shelter.
Now that you know how amazing these mangrove wetlands are, you have everything you need to complete Activity 7 in your activity booklet. Let's get to it.
Another ecosystem service mangroves provide is that they filter water moving from the land to the sea, taking out pollution and making sure that the water entering our oceans is super clean.
Mangroves also help us by slowing down the waves during hurricanes. This protects our shores and stops our houses from getting washed away by seawater. Mangroves also hold the soil together, protecting the land from erosion. Erosion is the movement of soil or rock from one place to another by water or wind. All in all, mangroves make us more resilient to storms, meaning that we are better able to recover from them.
We can't forget how important mangroves are for fighting climate change.
Climate change is a change in the typical weather of an area over a long period of time. As the climate changes, extreme weather events like storms and floods become more intense.
Some gases in the air, like carbon, take the heat from the sun and make climate change happen faster. Mangroves try to stop this by storing this carbon so that there's less in the air to heat up the planet.
These ecosystems are able to do so much for us because of those special mangrove plants. So we have to learn more about them, right? Come on!
Into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG. Into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild, no, into the wild with the EAG.
There are 4 4 types of mangrove plants that can be found in Antigua and Barbuda. These plants all like to grow in salt water, which makes mangrove wetlands unique. They grow in a very specific order. Pay attention to where you can find them.
The first type of mangrove plant is the buttonwood. It's not technically a mangrove, but it likes to grow close to the other, so we count it 2. These have unique seeds shaped like buttons that give them their name. They like salty water the least and are usually found farthest from the sea. Next in line are white mangroves, which have white flowers that give them their name. These trees like salt water more than buttonwoods, so they're usually found closer to the sea. They have leathery round leaves with small bumps at the base. These bumps are called nectaries, and they help the plant remove extra salt from the salt water that they take up. Up next are the black mangroves. These mangroves have special roots that stick out of the ground called pneumatophores. Have you ever been snorkeling? Just like a snorkel, pneumatophores allow the plant to breathe in the muddy, flooded areas they like to live in. Their leaves are long and oval-shaped and tend to have salt on their surface. They are even safe to lick. 4. Last but not least are red mangroves, which are directly in the sea. These can easily be recognized by their long red prop roots that look like fingers sticking into the ground. Prop roots allow these plants to breathe in the salt water they love so much by propping them above the water. Red mangrove roots are home for lots of different insects and animals, especially baby fish. They also act as a cage below the water, keeping out predators and protecting young fish, crabs, shellfish, and marine animals. Once they reach adulthood, they move further out into the sea, where fisherfolk can catch them and provide an important food source for nearby coastal communities like Setons and Para. Let's recap that.
It's time for you to officially get familiar with the organisms who live in mangrove wetlands. Turn to Activity 8 in your activity booklet and see who's home.
Although mangroves are so important to humans and wildlife alike, they are threatened by things like development and pollution. Mangroves are often knocked down to build homes and other facilities, destroying habitats and leaving our coastlines unsafe and exposed to hurricanes. Illegal dumping also takes place far too often in mangrove wetlands, harming the animals who live there and preventing the mangrove from functioning properly.
Whew! We know that was a lot of information on mangrove wetland ecosystems, but we hope that you understand just how important these ecosystems are to all forms of life here on Earth.
It's been another great day of learning, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
See you next time on Into the Wild with the EAG.
Into the wild, no, into the wild, into the wild.